Okay, so I pet the cat and she's gone away and now we can get back to the actual questions. Hopefully. Alright, so we're going to start with Shepard's loyalty and their questions. Okay. What is your favorite aspect of each of your characters? Okay, this is going to take some time, so that's good. I think with Dezora, my favorite aspect about her is that she's so conflicted. She's a very conflicted character because she wants so much to be that kind of fun-loving, wheeling and dealing kind of character that you see her as with Jim and say when she's around Vega sometimes, depending on the Vega, of course. And with certain Shepherds, like she gets a little crazy, a little bit more mercenary, I guess should say. That's the kind of the bits of her that come from her mother. So she really wants to be that person, but then there's the times where the influence she's had from her father really shines through. Like when she was dealing with Vosk, and her number one way to deal with him was to kill him and all of his men, and then just her justification of it was, he needed to die, like because I needed his things. So, like, her justification of he wasn't a good leader, so that's why he needed to die. And in some ways, she's right. He did need to be disposed, but he didn't necessarily need to be killed. But, that's her line of thinking. And she gets very conflicted over it, especially since she's always worried that she's going to disappoint the people who like her for the other version of herself that she is. And it's not like a double personality thing. It's just, I think, like, with a lot of people, you act one way around one person, and then you act differently around another person. Like, I act much differently around my mother and my family than I do around my friends. So that's an example. Okay, favorite aspect of Atreus. Okay, it's gotta be how smooth he is, because I have no idea where the hell that comes from. I am not that smooth. I cannot talk to men or women. Like, at all. I don't like holding hands in public. It's a thing. Like, I have no idea where the hell all of Atreus' lines come from. I have this pickup book, and none of those come from that. So I have no idea where the hell I get his material. In some really horrible deep recess inside of me that must be horribly smarmy, but it doesn't sound corny when it comes from him. Maybe it's the accent, I don't know. And, yeah, that's the part I think I like the most about him, is that he's just so smooth, and I have no idea where the hell it comes from. The very first time I started writing Atreus, I'm like, how? Where is this coming from? I have no control over you, and it's the first character I've ever had. Ever. I'm not even kidding. Ever the first character I've ever had that I have no control over whatsoever. Every other character I'm like, yeah, I can do that. And it feels like a part of me, and Atreus is like just a whole nother thing. Like, he's over here and I'm here, and it's totally different. And I really like that about him. Okay, I think for Marius it's the fact that he's just so low-key. He just does not give a shit about anything. And I think the only thing he does give a shit about is the fact that he doesn't give a shit about anything. Like, I think he's honestly concerned about it because he's never had motivation in his life, and I think he realizes that and gets a little nervous about it, but for the most part, he's just like, I don't give a shit. And it's kind of zen in a way, but kind of not, and it's like, it seems okay, and like, not, that's the cat, and not all that, like, crazy or really all that like dangerous, and until you realize if he doesn't give a shit about anything, then he doesn't really give a shit about killing people. Because you have to remember, all these guys are mercenaries. Like they get hired to kill people and fight wars and smuggle and commit crimes, so not always in that order. So yeah, he's kind of interesting. Ilias. I think the thing I like most about Ilias is just how desperate he is to be kind of like Atreus. He really wants to be with all the ladies, as many as he can. And he really can't, because he freaks out. Like, he has a mental condition because of his because of his size and his diminutive state, and just like his stunted growth, and he's just got a lot of mental issues and problems, and he has to be on medication. And one of the major things that triggers it is being in a sexual relationship. So the crew is literally going out of their way to keep him from having sex, and it really gets him frustrated. So he's so pent up, and I find it completely hilarious because he's like ready to jump on pretty much anybody, which I find just funny as hell. So I like that part of Alias. There's a lot of parts I don't like, but you know, you're allowed to not like portions of a character, even if you created them. Like, I have a character that I absolutely despise, and I love them because I hate them. It's a weird thing. Anyway, okay, and then we have Coral and Foral, the twins, which I love them because they're so different. Like, they look almost exactly the same, except Coral's the one with, like, the blue on his forehead. I haven't actually drawn him yet because I suck at drawing Batarians. I literally cannot. It's because they don't have noses. Like, it's not even the double eye thing. It's because they have the weird foreheads and no nose.